I'm Joe Murray. Exclusive coverage of these the now series tied at 3 and going to a game 7. I've seen this before. You have seen this before. And I don't know if anyone has the answers. Slow pace to start it all off. Big hit in the corner that's not called. Losing a face-off, giving up a goal. No fight. Really no shots on net whatsoever early on. No pressure. Toronto did everything to keep the puck out of their zone. Nylander, first 2 goals of the series. He snapped a 13-game goal drought now. Joseph Woll was pretty solid in that second win now. Think about it. They replace their goaltender and win 2 in a row. He's allowed 1 goal in 3 appearances he's made in the Leafs net. And then Swayman, solid again tonight, stopping 24 shots. But for the second year in a row, the Bruins will play a Game 7 at home after having a 3-1 lead. It's easy for me to just point to Jim Montgomery. It's also easy for me to say Jim Montgomery's coaching for his job now. 2 straight years of this, I don't know if he can survive it. And if you want some playoff numbers regarding Jim Montgomery, he's lost his last 7 playoff games with a chance to eliminate an opponent. 2 with Dallas back in 2019, 3 last season versus Florida, 2 now versus Toronto. I'll get to everyone else who did not perform tonight. But this Game 7, Jim Montgomery coaching for his job. And we'll get on Brad Marchand, David Pastrnak, Charlie McAvoy, Charlie Coyle, Pavel Zacha, Hampus Lindholm. They have literally shrunk and have not risen to the opportunity. Another Game 7 in Boston. It's not over yet. Jobs are on the line. We'll lead it off there at 617-779-0985. And we're going to talk to Ty Anderson coming up in just a little bit. I'm running out of stuff, people. I gave you the coaching numbers there. I told you who hasn't played well. It's not on Swayman. It's just at this point, they don't have it. They don't have it. Something happened to this team. They do not rise to the opportunity. So the phones have been ringing for a while. Let's start with Frank in Los Angeles. Hey, Frank.
Hey, Joe. First, I just want to say I'm out from New England. I'm out here in L.A. now. I listen to you and Skaz every night on my commute home on the app. I listen to 98.5. Listen, this is about these players, man. I mean, I know that Montgomery, he was getting beat up the other night, but, Joe, where is McAvoy? Where is Pastrnak? The only guy on that team that seems to be playing strong is Swayman. And I'm watching this team. They can't get the puck out of the zone. They're not scoring. We knew they didn't have any firepower. But McAvoy, to me, is driving me nuts. I mean, this guy is not putting his stamp on any of these games. I just feel like the team is letting everyone down. The talent is too thin. Coyle's playing too high up. He's not good enough. This team is just not good enough, and we knew that. But this is ridiculous. I'll listen to you, and thanks for all your entertainment.
Thanks, man. Appreciate you listening in L.A. Yep, it's on the players at this point. Again, everybody playing for their jobs, right? Pastrnak probably isn't going anywhere, but Marchand, McAvoy, Coyle, Zacha, Lindholm, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Montgomery as well. Again, I'll give you this number. I might say it a bunch tonight. Jim Montgomery has lost his last 7 playoff games with a chance to eliminate an opponent. Twice in Dallas, 3 last year versus Florida, 2 this year versus Toronto. The Leafs limited the Bees to just 1 shot on goal in the first 20 minutes of the game. 1 shot on net in an elimination game on the road. And that's not on the coach. Brian's in Framingham. Hey, Brian.
Hey, Joe. What's up?
What's up, buddy?
I called the other night, and I was the one that said it was. I'm out on Montgomery. I still am out on Montgomery. I don't blame him for tonight's loss. I put this on the team. I think it's time to rebuild the team now as well, because clearly they can't win in elimination games.
Nope, there's one more to go. Sorry, Brian. One more to go. But right now, I have no words. I have no more words. I can't wait to talk to Ty. Sean's in Worcester. Hey, Sean.
Hey, Joe. Good evening. How you guys doing?
Hey,
I don't even know where to begin. You've kind of made all my points for me. I'm just trying to get this off my chest at this point. Montgomery's job's on the line. I said the other night when I called in that management's butt should be on the line. This isn't good, Joe. I have no confidence. This team looks like they straight up have quit on Montgomery with the exception of Swayman. It's disappointing and an embarrassment. Hope you guys have a good night. Thanks for the show.
Oh, I'm sure the league or people watching around the NHL are loving this. Right? Bruins and Leafs go to a Game 7. You know? I'm just starting to wonder, are there any 2 bigger choking dogs now in this league than the Bruins and the Leafs? Like, will somebody even win, guys?
I think I saw on Twitter that the Bruins will either blow back-to-back 3-1 series leads as the favorite, or Toronto will lose its 7th Game 7 in a row. So I would say it's a battle of the chokers.
I just don't think it will ever happen. Like, it's just never going to happen. I don't think there'll be a winner. You know what I mean? Like
they both lose.
Yeah, they just both lose. Oh.
Well, Joe, I mean, who's your banner captain Game 7? I mean, that's what we're all thinking right now.
Yeah. Banner captains. I got nothing, man. Like, what I want to say, I can't say out loud.
Yeah, because they no-showed. They gave you nothing.
Like, I all I want to do is call them names, which a lot of people have tonight. Like, 1 shot. Remember how many times we were looking? Wait. And I kept saying it too. Wait, they only have 1 shot so far? What?
I had to walk in and double check with Jeremy to make sure everything was right. I was like, well, they still only have 1 shot.
Now I'm not going to blame the refs, but the hit on Lowry was a penalty, and it may be because he's a rookie on the road. They're not going to call that. It was only a couple of feet away from the puck. Like, how did they miss that one? And on the next face-off, that's when the goal happens, where again they could have won the face-off. So I don't want to blame the refs.
No, Joe, they've stopped winning face-offs. They are no longer winning face-offs.
So they could have won the face-off. They didn't. Sean's in Worcester. Hey, Sean.
Hey, Joe. I'm sick and tired of this. I really am. It just smells like they're gonna do it again, and I'm just really sick and tired of this team ripping my heart out. 1 shot on goal in 20 minutes, man. That's straight ineptitude. That's a literal no-show. I don't know what to say anymore.
Thanks, Sean. Sorry, man. I didn't mean to cut you off there. I don't know what anybody knows. What are you going to? What you think? You've just watched 2 games. What makes you think something is going to change on Saturday night? Luck? That it's the Leafs? Is that it? It's the Leafs. That's the only chance they have, is that it's the Leafs on the other side. That's it. What have you seen the last 2 games to make you think they can pull out of this thing? But they still can. Oh, this is bad. Matt is in Wilmington. Hey, Matt.
Hey, guys. Real quick. Obviously, we know about the 1 shot tonight. The previous game, they in the first period, they came out looking like crap as well.
Tight, yeah.
I'm shocked that they didn't come out in the first period and just take this game over. They didn't. They're playing with no heart. Yeah, Montgomery's job is in question, but these are professional athletes. If they can't get up and play their hearts out and win this, then I don't know what to say. It's just very discouraging.
Yeah, and that win will be a springboard against Florida, let me tell you. I'm going to talk to Ty Anderson in a little bit. We'll just knock out a couple of calls. Jared's in Connecticut. Hey, Jared.
Hey, what's going on? I'm not blaming Montgomery at all. I mean, I don't even know how much Pasta makes a year. You got McAvoy, how much he makes a year. Marchand, he's doing all right. He's got the team on his back. I get that. But Pasta and McAvoy, they're a no-show for how many years in a row? And you can't make, what's he make, $12 million, $13 million a year?
Yeah, a little bit's on the players there. I think the way this thing has been handled hasn't been great, and I think Montgomery has a lot to do with it. But yes, the players are still here. The players are on the ice. The players are not getting their shots off. We see it. Not good. Alex and Gardner. Hey, Alex.
Pasternak has no freaking.
I cut it off, Skaz, because I didn't know where it was going to go. Insert adjective. Insert body part. I don't know. I'm just trying to see how many calls we can take before we talk to Ty. Because, what's he got to... I hope he gives us something. Everyone's frustrated. Courtney in Auburn.
Hi. It sounds like somebody mentioned it before, but the face-offs. I mean, it's a joke. I mean, when the team... It almost seemed like they were mocking them by icing the puck, knowing that they had a really good chance of winning that face-off.
True. And sorry to cut you off, Courtney. We got Ty Anderson coming on. It's true. I agree. All right, well, Ty will try to figure this out for us, see how he feels after this one as well. Continue your calls here. We're here until midnight tonight. I'm Joe Murray here on the Sports Hub.
You're listening to Joe Murray on 98.5.
In Toronto, forcing a Game 7 in Boston on Saturday night, 8 p.m., 7:30. All the coverage here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. Let's go to our Bruins insider on the Volkswagen Dealers Expert Hotline. He's Ty Anderson of 98.5 TheSportsHub.com. Ty, tell us what you're feeling and what you see out there tonight.
Yeah, I mean, it's just downright inexcusable, and you can give Toronto some credit here for how they played, but once again, another flat no-show for half the game. And then the light turns on and we should start playing now. I don't know how you come out like that 2 games in a row. This is a wounded animal in the Toronto Maple Leafs. They're without a 69-goal scorer during the regular season right now. How do you not smell blood in the water? How do you not go at a goaltender who, in my opinion, is still cold? This was his first time getting 2 starts in a row in quite a while. He didn't face a ton of rubber in either start out of the gate. And I just think that, this is an opportunity, this is a moment where you look at the leaders of the team, your McAvoys, your Pasternaks, your Marchands, your Coyles, and you say, not good enough, not giving you enough, not dictating the tempo of the game the way that the Leafs top 6 right now, which again, without its best piece, is dictating the terms in which the games are being played right now.
So you mentioned give the Leafs a little bit of credit here. I'm trying to do that. It's just after back-to-back games, to your point, starting out how bad you were in Game 5, and you come out even worse in Game 6. That's hard to swallow for most fans here. But what are the Leafs doing to limit the Bruins with shots on goal at this point? They're disrupting zone entries and passing plays and faceoffs, but what is it? Why can't these guys get shots off?
Yeah, I mean, they're protecting the house really well in terms of bodies and keeping guys to the outside, but you're noticing as the game goes on that they're penetrating, they're getting through, but they're not getting through with quality looks. And it's starting to add up, I think, and it's starting to add up in terms of the frustration or the lack of, I don't know, predictability is probably too strong of a word, but you don't know. I don't think they know what they're going to do when they get over the attacking blue line. There were multiple instances tonight where the Bruins gained the zone and then slammed on the brakes, and then you had 2 forwards who just basically just lost control, or they fell down, or the puck was passed into their skates. It's an easy turnover. It's an easy zone exit for Toronto. It's just, I don't think that this offense is in sync right now, and I think it's largely their own doing. Because when they stay consistent and they continue to try to break through, Toronto will have cracks. Their defense is not that strong. It's simply not. We've seen it now. We saw it in the first 5 games where when you put pressure and you attack with speed and urgency, they will mess up. They'll have a turnover, they'll ice it, they'll take a penalty. And right now, I don't think the Bruins are making the Toronto defense uncomfortable enough to make those kind of mistakes. They're just packing the house, and the Bruins are, shooting themselves in the foot along the way.
Talking with Ty Anderson, 98.5 TheSportsHub.com, reacting to the Bees' loss tonight. Joseph Woll, just talk about his play. Is he doing anything special? And how funny is it, or ironic, all the goaltending talk was the Bruins, and here we are seeing the move that the Leafs make, get them into Game 7.
Yeah, I think that, it's always scary when a new goaltender comes in mid-series, and you never know how it's going to go, especially when you have success against the other guy. You saw this last year, but trust me, Joseph Woll is no Sergei Bobrovsky, right? And he had holes in his pads during the regular season, especially coming back from the ankle injury. And there's some good fortune with what happens tonight. That Carlo look bounces every which way but in. There were times where I think that Woll didn't know where the puck was, but he was able to come up with the save. And I just think that, the Bruins talked about entering this game. The Bruins talked about having more traffic and making it difficult for him to see the puck. Did you get that sense tonight? Because I didn't.
Nope.
I didn't think they were doing that consistently. I didn't think they were doing that at anything close to the clip they need to beat this guy. And I think the Bruins, again, are making life easier for Toronto than they were in the first 5 games. I think you just watch them, and it's the first 4 games, rather. It's just you watch them, and they do not look like an urgent, crisp team right now.
So you would agree that right now it's not about the tweaks or the moves that Montgomery has made. It's really about the top players on this team not performing right now.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, look at it this way. Without Matthews, these last two games, Toronto's top six, when they're on the ice, the Leafs have an advantage. 34 shots for, 20 against, and they're outscoring them 3-0. Like, and they're missing their best piece of that top six. And so Max Domi has stepped up. John Tavares has stepped up. But, Tavares and Domi against Coyle and Zaka should be closer than people realize. And so, William Nylander comes alive tonight, as we saw, but the Bruins' top-end talent needs to show up. Marchand, Pasternak, McAvoy, Lindholm, who I think was not good tonight. You look at some of these guys, and there's a legacy on the line for some of them. If you come home and you lose Game 7, and they've already lost a lot of Game 7s, but if you come home and lose Game 7 and you blow a 3-1 series lead again, that culture that you talk about being so important, doesn't it take a massive hit if you just keep going through the same kind of failures in your own building, in your own locker room again and again and again? Doesn't that culture start to mean a little bit less because it always ends the same way and it never changes, and you're always going, how come you didn't get enough from that guy when you really needed it? So that's how I look at it.
You mentioned legacies. Just talk about Jim Montgomery. I think he has to be coaching for his job, but I just saw this number. But his last 7 playoff games with a chance to eliminate an opponent, he's lost all 7 of those. 2 with Dallas in 2019, 3 last year, and then 2 this year versus Toronto. That's something clearly to look at as Game 7 happens here. Is his job on the line?
I think so. I don't think that he has the cachet to survive blowing back-to-back 3-1 series leads, especially when, he makes lineup changes in Game 5 for the second year in a row, and they play a factor in them losing that Game 5 and the tenor of the series kind of changing. And so, had he won a Stanley Cup, let's say, he won a cup in 2018 or 2019 with whoever. He doesn't have that, right? And so and I believe next year is the final year of his contract. So you got to commit, or he's a lame duck, or you move on. And so I just don't know how anybody would survive blowing a 3-1 series lead in back-to-back years, especially the context of where Toronto was at 3-1. No Austin Matthews, goaltending questions. That team was dead to rights, and you didn't finish the job. And especially, Joe, the way that you come out with, 2 shots on goal in one game and 2 in the net, that can't happen. Montgomery is supposed to be a coach who really motivates his guys, and he gets the best out of them, and he gets them charged up emotionally, right? And so we're sitting here talking about the core players, and they got to give you more. Well, this coach is supposed to bring the best out of them. That's what we were all led to believe. And if the same problems continue to happen, it's easier to get rid of a coach than to trade 5 guys. And I think that's and I don't think the Bruins necessarily want to trade some of these core players, right? And so it's just easier to get rid of the coach. And I have a hard time seeing how a coach with the lack of a championship resume can survive back-to-back 3-1 blown leads.
So what have you seen in Games 5 and Game 6 that give the Bruins a chance to win in Game 7?
I just think your talent in goal is better. Swayman's given you a lot right now. Only allowed 4 goals the last 2 games combined. I think he's saved your bacon a lot over those 2 games as well. It could be a lot worse. At the end of the day, your defense should be better than their defense. They have Morgan Riley. You have Charlie McAvoy, Brandon Carlo, and Hampus Lindholm. If those guys can get their game right, you have a better defensive core than they do. And again, Pasternak is a more dynamic player, in my opinion, than Nylander or Marner, but he's got to show up. And that's kind of where we're at right now. I think that we've had some games here where, it's been this player's game. Tonight was Nylander's game. So now through 6 games, you've had a Marchand game, a Matthews game, a Swayman game, and a Nylander game. These are all high-end game-breaking talents. We're still waiting for David Pasternak to have his game. And I think he's got to come through in Game 7. He did not have it tonight. I don't think he had it in Game 5 either. I'm not sure what's going on there. Health-wise, he looks a little off. But guess what? Everyone's battered right now. You gotta rise to the challenge here and not let an opportunity slip. And so it begins with their top dogs. And I think that the fact that they have more of them available than Toronto right now, I think that should give you a little bit of hope entering Game 7. But you shouldn't feel confident. There's no reason to feel confident. You've been here before. This team has been here before, and almost every time it's ended in heartbreak. They haven't won a Game 7 at home, Joe, since 2019 against Toronto. Like, that's the only thing you can feel kind of good about, I think.
Oh, God. What's the Ty Anderson Game 7 routine? What do you got for us?
I don't know. I'm going to throw it in the garbage because it's not working. Whatever it's been, these last 2 games is not working.
The show started.
You get there early.
Real quick, the show started tonight. I go, I don't know, guys. I don't know. We're just going to talk to Ty in a bit. Like, I don't know what to tell you anymore. Because, it's just, here we are again, right? I don't know how you can stomach this yourself. How are you handling this?
Buddy, I died in 2019. Like, that's what happened. So I've been covering this team since 2010. I have seen more overtime playoff losses than any normal, sane human being should. I have seen another team raise the cup in their building twice. But, Joe, I'm dead inside. You can't hurt me. I'm already dead. It's over for me.
All right, well, he'll be in the building. How about that? The guy who's dead inside will be in the building Saturday night in a Game 7. Ty, appreciate getting your instant reaction, and I'm sure we'll be reading you at 985thesportshub.com.
Awesome. Thanks for having me, guys.
You got it. He's Ty Anderson. He's dead inside, but you know what? He'll be there no matter what on Saturday night. I see guys lined up on the phone lines. We'll get to you. Hang tight. We'll get our final headline of the night and talk to you. Thanks.
Sports Hub headlines.
No, thank you. Bruins lose 2-1. There'll be a Game 7. I'm not laughing about it. It is great that they extended the series and it's playing on a Saturday night. How about that Kentucky Derby Day? There's probably a big UFC fight, right? Boxing, maybe? Or did that one get suspended? Whatever. Game 7. Saturday night, right here on the Sports Hub. We have some NBA Finals. Pacers eliminate Milwaukee with a 120-98 win. New York and Philly tied at 111 right now. Wow. What a comeback from the 76ers who trail the series 3-2. The New York just hit a big 3 to go up 3 points in that one. And the Giants beat the Red Sox today 3-1. Sox go to Minnesota tomorrow. Headlines are brought to you by Valve Weenus and Oil Change. Or Safety Insurance, providing comprehensive coverage for your auto, home, and business. Ask your independent agent about safety. I'm Joe Murray. Your next update is not with me tomorrow.
More Joe Murray coming up on the Sports Hub.
quick, smelly.
It's Joe Murray on the Sports Hub.
Pasternak needs to step up and be the dominant player that he can be. It's the first time he's really ever called out the superstar. Wow. Montgomery's done this a couple of times this year, right? McAvoy responded at one point. Marchand responded at one point. In Pasternak. What else can Montgomery... Listen, Montgomery's fighting for his job, so I bet he's taking everybody down with him. He's not wrong, though. I'm not saying Pasternak sucks out there, but you just see Nylander. Ty said it, right? He said you got the Marchand game, you got the Swayman game, you got the Nylander game. Like, you've gotten all the... Tavares led to a goal the other night. When are you getting the Pasternak game? When are you getting the Pasternak game? So, although I don't love the way Montgomery's handled this postseason at all, he's going down, and he's going to take Paster with him, and he's not wrong about it at all. 617-779-0985. Let's talk to Daryl in Oxford. Hey, Daryl.
Hey, it's Daryl.
Joe,
at what point do we stop blaming the coaches and switching out coaches? When can we actually start blaming the actual stars of this team that don't show up night in and night out?
Oh, we're there now. I mean, we're there. It's just that if they lose this thing, it's not just the players. You're probably moving on from the coach and probably. I mean, I don't think Sweeney's deserved to lose his job, but like you gotta probably clean.
They got to do something.
They got to clean house.
Something.
So I mean, listen. People are going to stop watching for how much heartache they've had. Is this enjoyable for you, Daryl? This whole
no, it's not.
It's not.
Years and years and years.
That's my whole thing. This is not enjoyable anymore.
No,
nobody wants the tickle anymore. We don't want to chase the carrot anymore. Thank you, Daryl. All right, here's Joe in L.A. again, or another L.A. Joe. Hey, Joe.
Hey, guys, thanks for taking my call. Yeah, spot on. I mean, you got the leaders, quote-unquote leaders of the team, not stepping up. They don't call anyone out. If you look at Game 4, Nylander chirping Marner or Austin Matthews saying, you guys stop crying, step up to the plate. Game 5, Marner had a great game. The team played really well. The only person I've seen interact in that way is Marchand with Jim Montgomery on the bench before Game 4. But after that, it's been nothing. It's like Pasternak's pretty much invisible on the ice. You look at the coach, Bruce Cassidy, before he left. A lot of players didn't like him because he was holding people accountable, calling them out.
Yep.
Next year, they fire him and he wins a cup. He had a bunch of hungry players on that Vegas team who wanted to win. And you look at this team, it's like nobody wants to win. It's really hard to see who wants to step up and take ownership.
So I think they do want to win. I just think that their passengers, they don't have a true leader on the ice that just takes over. And I think that's why they're calling out Pasternak.
Yeah, and it's a shame. I mean, you got awesome players that a lot of teams would want to have, and it's just we're calling them leaders, calling them captains. McAvoy's been okay, I would say, but no one's really stepping up, making players better around them, except for Marchand this series. So very frustrating. I'm hoping. One part of me wants to lose Saturday, just because I want to just get it over with. It doesn't look too good with the Panthers, but. Oh, man, fingers crossed.
Thanks, Joe. Appreciate it. You know what I would do, Skaz? Remember, you ever simulate video games? You're like, I'm not going to play this one. Let's just see. Yeah, I'd simulate this one. I'm curious what the ratings will be. Is there any? Again, remember, it might have been 10 years ago. There was a couple of great Game 7s in the NBA. There was the Floyd Mayweather fight versus Pacquiao. The Kentucky Derby day. I think there was a big UFC fight later on that night. But, that was one of the best Saturdays in May in a long time, and we're going to get Game 7s. I thought we were going to get a Game 7 in the NBA tonight, but that didn't happen. But Derby day and then Game 7, guys. Where are you putting your money?
The under, maybe? I don't know. This is
oh, by the way, I took the over tonight, everyone.
all those Bruins shots on net.
Yep. Chunky. Watch next game. Next game. Oh, it's going to go over. Oh, speaking of just awful, I have the face-off numbers, and these aren't good. They, in game one, won 57% of their face-offs. It's gone down every game since. 45, 44, 39, 37, 37. The face-offs are killing them. Absolutely getting destroyed. This is where the Bergeron Krejci thing comes back to hurt him. But just that is not good. And what can be better in Game 7? I like what Ty said to us. He basically said it's the fact that they've done it before in Game 7. That's it. This isn't enjoyable. It's just not. Keith in New Hampshire. Hey, Keith.
Yeah, guys. I mean, I really feel like they're missing something that they had back in the 2013 series when that knucklehead held up the Toronto stronger side, and then they all of a sudden played like the barn was on fire.
Yeah, I know. He wanted to say balls. He wanted it. We have a lot of calls. Eric's in Pembroke. Hi, Eric.
Joe, what's going on, buddy?
Hi, buddy.
All right, so here's my question. I know he gets paid a lot of money, but at what point do we just sit Lindholm down? I know Forbert's I guess he's ready to go, but anything and anyone would be better than Lindholm at this point.
I almost took him to get the overtime goal the other night because he's been so bad that I feel like he's going to come through at some point. You're not taking Lindholm off the ice for Forbort. You're not. You're going to live and die with this guy.
Yeah, and I know Lindholm hasn't been great, and I'm, no massive Hampus Lindholm fan, but you've scored 2 goals in the last 120 minutes, whatever it is.
Tonight's goal shouldn't have counted.
So, I mean, yeah, if you want to blame Lindholm for some soft play, fine. I get it. He's not great, but at some point, you have to put the puck in the net. This isn't Dominic Hasek on the other end. This is Joseph Wall, who is basically a perennial backup in the NHL, and you can't even get a shot on net. So yeah, I'm not leaving this game thinking it's Hampus Lindholm's fault. These guys have to put the puck in the net.
Oh, right now it's with the players. Montgomery's job's on the line. Montgomery's going to have to call out all the players because he's going down if they lose. I don't blame him in that matter. I will say this. I think Montgomery's a good coach, but that number about losing 7 straight knockout games,
that's pretty damning.
That's Doc Rivers like.
3-1 blowing a 3-1 series lead. They call that the Doc Rivers.
By the way, Jeremy Conley asked earlier, has a team ever lost 3-1 series back to back? I looked into it. I couldn't find it, but someone did say that they'd be the first team. I still need to get the old research team on that one. That you can't survive that. Listen, I'm taking you back some years, but Grady Little was a great regular season manager for the Red Sox. That blunder in the postseason, that was it. And it worked, by the way. They won a championship the next year. Anyways, I think Montgomery's a good coach. I do. But he can't survive this. These players are letting him down. And he's a part of this too, okay? He's not off the hook. But as of right now, all their jobs, and as Ty Anderson said, some of these guys' legacies are on the line in Game 7 against the Leafs. That's laughable. It's laughable. All right, we got to take a quick break. Final break of the night, and we'll look ahead to Game 7 coming up next here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. All right, back here at 98.5 The Sports Hub. Final segment. We have a full show tomorrow night. Full show, 7 to 11. We got the in or outs, we got the musings, and we will have certainly more on the Bruins as they now will play a Game 7 in Boston on Saturday night, 7:30 pregame, 8 p.m. will be the puck drop. Also wanted to say congratulations to Ryan Bell, our intern. He is going to graduate from Dean College next week, or in 2 weeks. And then we'll be going to Syracuse University. And he's been helping us out here. He's been doing a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff, video, editing stuff, doing all those banner ads that we don't know how to do. He's like a smart kid that knows how to do everything we don't. So, again, as I've always said about Ryan Bell, one day I will be working for Ryan Bell someday. So, thank you, Ryan, for everything, and good luck to you, sir.
He says, Joe, you're in for a pay raise if he's ever your boss.
Thank you, Ryan. Yeah. All right. I wonder how it sounds up in Augusta, Maine these days, you know? Can they hear the Bruins roars? Or the woes? Everyone's like, that said, Joe, the Bruins. Trying to give the guy a send-off. They might be sending you off on Saturday night. Ryan Bell has done more for you than the Bruins. Should we end it on a call? All right, sure, fine. Let's play roulette here. Mike's in Shrewsbury.
Oh, man, that's a lucky winner right there. Ryan, congrats. Joe, I wanted to call and thanks for taking my call, but Marchand's been probably one of our best players, but I'm just a little concerned about how he's playing and the rest of the team's not playing. So just a little nervous about his.
Yes, they need him to play well. The coach called out Pasta, though. He called out Pasta, not the captain. Pasta. We might need some more pasta on Saturday night. Full show here tomorrow night, 7 p.m. till 11. Who knows what will happen? For James Scaramazino Scass, Ryan Bell, thank you, sir. Good luck to you. And the Jeremy Conley tonight. And the Pan Pizza Poppy. We love you. I'm Joe Murray. We'll talk to you guys tomorrow night at 7 o'clock.